Are you sure you're free? What else would I be doing?
Alright, let's get started right away on part 2 of the Al Pacino DVD and Blu-ray collection. We ended last episode with House of Gucci. We're continuing with The Insider from 1999, directed by Michael Mann. Reuniting Michael Mann with Pacino after they did Heat. And definitely the lesser of the two films they did. I prefer Heat over this one any day. However, still a intriguing film, this one also with Russell Crowe. Still a film that I do enjoy, also with Christopher Plummer, Diane Venora. Sort of a thriller, also based on real events. It's been a while since I watched it, but I do definitely recommend this one. Pacino has a great performance in it, good chemistry with Russell Crowe. I say check it out. Next up, a film I really have to upgrade to Blu-ray. Insomnia from 2003, one of Pacino's most underrated films. Yet again, this one. The late great Robin Williams in one of his more disturbing roles, dark roles. He's not comedic in the film. It's not funny, but this is a great one, directed by Christopher Nolan. Pretty forgotten Christopher Nolan film. Everybody talks about Inception, the Dark Knight films, this and that. Where the hell is all the love for Insomnia? I think this is one of Christopher Nolan's best films, and I love this film. Also with Hilary Swank in it. I really have to get this on Blu-ray. As a matter of fact, now that I'm doing this video, after I finish, I might as well go on Amazon and check out a Blu-ray copy to purchase, because it's really one that deserves it. It's a good one. It's a really great film. Next up is The Irishman. Thanks to Criterion, we finally got a physical copy of this great film from 2019, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Looking how it's supposed to come out. There you go. Alternate title, I Heard You Paint Houses. This is the booklet. Look at this beautiful, magnificent digibook. De Niro, Pesci, the man himself, Al Pacino. 2 discs. Thank you, Criterion. This is my favorite film of 2019, and 2019 was a good film for years. I went to the cinema so many times. In 2019, I went to see Rambo Last Blood. I went to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There were loads of great films in 2019, for me anyway. This is my favorite though. This was so great to see Pacino and De Niro in a great film together. A great director, and adding Joe Pesci into the mix. Also Harvey Keitel in a small part. Again, we don't have much time in these videos to go through booklets and stuff, but I just want to highlight this film a little bit because for me this is a masterpiece, this film. I really love everything about this film. Yes, the CGI, the aging on De Niro particularly looks a bit dodgy. What do you want? These guys are 70, they're supposed to be playing 40-year-olds. You can't ask for magic. They did the best they could, in my opinion. I wasn't even paying attention to the de-aging stuff, to be honest. I was just so enthralled by the performances by these guys. But The Irishman, or I Heard You Paint Houses, great film. If you've seen it, you don't like it, I say give it a second chance. And if you have seen it and you like it, I say just watch it again, because this is a film I can watch over and over again. Since its release on Netflix, I think in the first few months it was on Netflix before I got this Blu-ray. I think I must have seen it 10 times on Netflix. I've seen it about 5 times on this Blu-ray version. So it's a film for me I can watch again and again. It's really has become one of my all-time favorite movies. Anyway, let's take you back to a time where Pacino was trying to convince everyone and share his love on William Shakespeare. And this is a film he did in the mid-90s, documentary sort of film, documentary style. Looking for Richard, with some great people in it. Alec Baldwin, Winona Ryder, Kevin Spacey again. Documentary, Al Pacino sharing his love and enthusiasm for William Shakespeare in the play Richard III. Interesting watch. Obviously, it's not for everyone, but Pacino reading a phone book for 90 minutes would be interesting to me. So of course I have it in my collection. It's very good in terms of how it's made and everything. I will never be a big Shakespeare fan, but you know, I can appreciate Pacino's enthusiasm for it at least. So yeah. Next up is Manglehorn. I think this is 2014, 2015, 2014 it says right there. You'll excuse the glare because of the LED light I have on it. But a film I don't remember too much about, only seen it once back then when I got the DVD. I think that was around 2014, 2015 I got the DVD. I don't remember a single thing about it, to be honest. He plays a locksmith in this one, that's about all I know. Didn't make much sense to me, this film, but co-stars Holly Hunter, directed by David Gordon Green, who did the 2018 Halloween film and Halloween Kills. So, but yeah, I don't remember too much about this. This is certainly not a horror film, let's put it that way. But I have to give this one a rewatch, to be honest. Don't remember a single thing about it, I have to shamefully admit. More Shakespeare again. This is a straight up adaptation of a Shakespeare play. This is The Merchant of Venice, also with Jeremy Irons. Which is a really, really good film, a really good performance by Pacino. Again, I would say this is a bit underrated. Again, it's not for everyone. You have to be sort of into Shakespeare. I am not very big in it, but I do appreciate adaptations like this. And like I said, with Pacino's documentary, I appreciate what he was trying to do with that. And I think this one really does well. It's a very good story. Very good adaptation. Again, I've never seen the original play or read the original play or whatever, or the book or whatever. But yeah, very good movie nonetheless. This one, The Merchant of Venice, in 2004. Next up, Pacino appeared in an ensemble film as a villain. And this is the only film from this franchise that I own, and it's only because Al Pacino was in it. Ocean's 13. All-star cast, nothing wrong with it, but I've just never been into these films. I've seen Ocean's 11 and 12, of course, but I just never got into it. And like I said, this is the only one I own because the big man is in it right there, and also Alan Barkin. The two are reunited, actually, because they were in Sea of Love together. But yeah, Ocean's 13. Only watched it because of Al Pacino. Next up, again, I need this one on Blu-ray. I know there's a Blu-ray release over in the UK. I think the US has a Blu-ray release. The Panic Needle Park, Pacino's first major film. Before he went on to be Michael Corleone in The Godfather. He did this film with Cherry Schatzberg, who also directed Scarecrow a few years later with Pacino, about heroin addicts in 1970s New York City, trying to score, hustle, everything like that. Very raw film, very almost filmed like a documentary style on the streets, very, very rough. It can be a tough watch, especially if you are not into needles and stuff and drugs. If you're anti-drugs, which I am, I want nothing to do with drugs, and I especially hate needles. I hate going to the fucking doctor and getting a shot and stuff. So this is has certain points that makes me look away, because they definitely show injections and stuff. But it's a very interesting film nonetheless. Pacino really gives a good performance in this one, and this is the film that Francis Ford Coppola showed the Paramount people to convince them that Pacino was right for Michael Corleone. So there you go. Next up is The People I Know, or People I Know, with Pacino and Kim Basinger. A film that is overdue for a rewatch. I've only watched it once. Recently got this DVD. I'm still yet to rewatch it, so we'll let you know how that goes. But I would say there's a forgotten Pacino film, and I never hear anybody say, remember that Pacino film that he did in the 2000s, People I Know. I never heard anybody say that, so I would say this is a under if I can fucking talk. I would say this is a under the radar Pacino film. So for those curious enough, let's say check it out. Next up is another film from the early 2000s, 2003 if I'm not mistaken. This is The Recruit with Pacino and Colin Farrell, a film which I do enjoy. This is actually one of the first Pacino films I saw in my younger days. And I've always enjoyed this one. I know there's some people, again, are torn on this one. They either like it or they don't. But for me, I thought this was a pretty good one. One of very good, solid performance by Colin Farrell. Next up, this is what a lot of people consider the biggest Pacino dud, Revolution from 1985. This is the director's cut, but it has both versions on here. Original cut and the director's cut. This is the BFI Blu-ray release with a booklet and everything. Yeah, what can I say? I'm not big on the film as well, but again, it is Al Pacino. There's no film that he did that I really hate. I don't hate this film. It's just not a Pacino film I prefer. So it still has some good elements in it. But yeah, I will never say that Revolution is a masterpiece. So yeah. Neither will I about this one, but again, it is one that I do enjoy. 2008's Righteous Kill. Again, just like with 88 Minutes, just like with Revolution, The Recruit, people hate this one, or they are okay with it. And nobody loves it, I know that. For me, I'm okay with this one. I like the film. Righteous Kill. Directed by John Avnet, who did 88 Minutes with Pacino before, the year before this one. And of course, this is with De Niro in it as well, and also with 50 Cent, John Leguizamo. Can I ever pronounce his name? Leguizamo, Donnie Wahlberg, Chris Jackson, 50 Cent. Also the late great Brian Dennehy, aka Sheriff Teasel from First Blood. He's in this one. Yeah, like I said, I do enjoy the film. I don't hate it. But yeah, out of all the Pacino and De Niro collaborations, is it the worst one? Is it the lesser one of all of them? Yes, that is for sure. But it's still a film that I do enjoy. Here's another one that a lot of people would say is a bit of a underrated gem. And I would agree. This one from 1973, Gene Hackman, Al Pacino, and Jerry Schatzberg's Scarecrow. Yes, once again, a quite the underrated film, this one. About two drifters who plan to set up a car wash, who have a dream. It's a road movie. Similar to, I guess, Midnight Cowboy. And like Midnight Cowboy, it has a sort of a tragic ending, and that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, definitely one I enjoy and I recommend. And as a matter of fact, I think Gene Hackman has said that this is his favorite film of all the films that he did, and that's coming from the man himself. And Pacino has said he looks back on the film fondly as well. He considers it one of his favorites, so can't argue with Gene Hackman and Al Pacino. Next up, yeah, here we go. My favorite film of all time, Scarface. On the Steelbook Blu-ray right here, which this was the very first Blu-ray yours truly picked up back in 2011. I just got the Blu-ray player and I was like, what movie am I gonna pick up on Blu-ray first? It has to be Scarface, which was then newly released. Yeah, awesome film. I have nothing to add to what I've said about it before and what I probably will say in the future, but this won't be the last time we'll be discussing Scarface. It's my favorite film of all time. Pacino's best performance for me. I absolutely love it. Words cannot express how much I love it. So much so that I still keep my original DVD 2-disc special edition of it, which has seen better days, as you guys can see. Probably will be able to clue it, but yeah, it comes with plenty of special features, which a lot of them are ported over to the Blu-ray, but I still keep that DVD for sentimental reasons nonetheless. The next up is Pacino's only Oscar-winning performance, which is a shame, which is a big crime. He should have won for Scarface. He wasn't even nominated for Scarface, go figure, but legitimately this guy should have 5 Oscars by now, but yeah. Anyway, Son of a Woman, 1992, directed by Martin Brest, who did Beverly Hills Cop, Midnight Run. He went on to do Jiggly, which had a cameo from Pacino, which that film was is considered one of the worst. One that I still need for my collection of Pacino films, unfortunately. But yeah, great film. Pacino plays a blind, retired colonel in this one. Sort of a bitter man. He's accompanied by Chris O'Donnell's character for a weekend in New York, Thanksgiving weekend if I'm not mistaken. And a great sort of adventure ensues, and it's a very good drama, this one. Yeah, great Pacino film. I love Son of a Woman. Next up is 1989's Sea of Love, which was sort of Pacino's comeback film. After the flop that was Revolution, he took a 4-year break from movies, and he came back in '89 with this one, and what a comeback. It's a great 1980s cop thriller, sexy thriller. It's Basic Instinct-esque, Fatal Attraction-esque. Pacino's on the case of a murder. Pacino's on the case of this presumably female suspect killer who kills men after sex or during sex. And he gets involved with Alan Barkin's character, who is strongly believed to be the killer. So there's an interesting possibility that he might be dating the killer that he's chasing. And if she is or not, for those that haven't seen the film, I'm not going to spoil it. You'll have to find out to watch the film, but it's a very good one nonetheless. Also with John Goodman in it. Like I said, Alan Barkin, also with Michael Rooker in it. And there's some good people in there. It's a good film. Sea of Love, 1989. Going from one Pacino cop role to probably my favorite, Serpico, 1973, directed by Sidney Lumet, German Blu-ray. Great cop film based on a real story, based on the real life of Frank Serpico, real life cop, who blew the whistle on police corruption. Very inspiring story. I've always enjoyed this one. I would say this is definitely, if Pacino had won an Oscar for nothing else, this is a film he should have won the Oscar for, because he delivers a fantastic performance in this film. Scarface might be my favorite film of Pacino. and my favorite performance, but damn it, Serpico comes damn close in terms of performance. It's Pacino really excels in this film. Next up is 2002, so I want to say Simone DVD. I don't think this film has a Blu-ray release. I might be wrong, but a very underrated film. Again, this is a film I think is a little bit ahead of its time, because obviously nowadays what we can do with computers and with CGI and stuff. And this film basically is about a digital actress that Pacino, the director in this film, creates to put in his own films. He creates a digital actress. And everybody starts believing she's real and stuff, and it's a pretty funny comedy. I really like it. Again, ahead of its time. If you release this film nowadays, I think it would get way better reviews and response by people, because yeah, I have always liked this film, but people back then apparently didn't really leave much of an impression this film, but I think it's a very underrated one. Here is another film I don't remember two shits about, from 2010, 2011, The Son of No One, with Channing Tatum, Al Pacino, the late great Ray Liotta, Katie Holmes. It's a shame I don't remember too much about this film, because it is one with the late Ray Liotta and Al Pacino wearing a mustache. I have to watch this one again, but I don't remember it being all too good. Yeah, probably why I don't remember much about it. I try to sort of forget it, but it's worth a rewatch nonetheless. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain what sort of film it is. It is another one of those cop thrillers, action films, cop thriller sort of film. So yeah. Next up is a film I do thoroughly enjoy, and again, I feel personally it's a bit of an underrated one, overlooked film. Pacino, Walken, Arkin, and stand-up guys. I mean, come on, you got... The fact that Alan Arkin is there is great, but come on, you got Pacino and Christopher Walken in the same film. This is too good to be true. And you know, it's Christopher Walken in the era he's in today, where he's, you know, being very Christopher Walken-esque. And Pacino, I think Pacino looks great in this film with the sort of short, frizzled hair, the goatee. He's wearing some cool suits in this film. Really underappreciated film. I definitely say check this film out. There's also a bit of heart to it, sort of quasi-emotional sort of ending. I like it. Let's put it that way. And last up, and I want to say not least, but no, it probably will be in the lower tier of Pacino films, but it's still one that I enjoyed, Two for the Money from 2005. Al Pacino, Matthew McConaughey, Rene Russo, Steelbook DVD, 2-disc edition, Dutch Steelbook. Also with Armando Santi in a small part. Always like seeing Armando Santi. Yeah, it's a film about sports betting. Pacino runs a sort of sports betting office, and Matthew McConaughey goes to work with him, and Pacino schools him, and there's a bit of drama and stuff involving with Rene Russo's character, and it is one I do say check it out. It is a bit underappreciated. It's not the best Pacino film. It's not gonna set the world on fire, but I don't think it's worthy of negative reviews as well. It sort of stands in the middle. It's a decent film here. Again, I think this is also inspired by a true event. I could be wrong, but I think it was. Anyway, that's the Al Pacino collection.